Years in Toronto. This time he's back, but just as a visitor, getting reacquainted with Scott Milanovich and Jim Barker. But opponents again tonight for the second time this season here in the CFL on TSN, the Bombers and the Argos. Hi again, and welcome Rod Smith along with Milt Stegall, Matt Dunnigan, and Chris Schultz for this second meeting of the season. It was all Winnipeg, really, and Drew Willie making quite an impression out of the gate in a 45-21 victory back in Week 1 in June. But things have changed since then, Schultz. 5 days apart for the Bombers in games, and the Argos are just getting started on this. They'll play in 5 days, so how do you evaluate this game in terms of, say, an advantage for either team?
This one's easy. Both teams have to have faith. For Toronto Argonauts, they got to have faith in their preparation. They've had plenty of time to get ready. But for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you got to have faith in your body. All those chemicals are going to be mixing up your serotonin, your dopamine, and especially your adrenaline. Trust me, your body will be ready to play because we are made to react under stress. They'll be ready.
I love that when he goes to that list. That's good. I bet there's a few other things in there, too, in a short turnaround from Winnipeg. I can tell you that. But if I'm Ricky Ray, I'm going back to Steve Slayton. He's my guy I'm watching tonight. How many times he can get the football? And who's going to catch the corner route that Ray throws so pretty? And, you know, is it going to be, Sinkfeld? Is it going to be Mann? Is it going to be Adams or Bradwell? But I'm going to go to this guy right there, Steve Slayton, as many times. At least 20 to 25 touches for this guy because he makes things happen.
Well, I'm going to look at the guys who are supposed to stop Steve Slayton, and that's Winnipeg's defense. And people are starting to look around the league and say, well, maybe, we can run the ball on them. They're averaging 107 yards on them, and in their losses, though, they're averaging almost 190 yards rushing against them. So they need to stop Steve Slayton early and often. If not, it's going to be difficult for them to win this game.
The Argos coming off a bye. Saskatchewan 5 days ago at home against Winnipeg, I should say, losing to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And a late surge and turnovers definitely costly for Winnipeg in that game. Madge Mitchell of Port Coquitlam, BC. You could win the ultimate $25,000 home theater package from Visions Electronics if a kickoff's return for a touchdown in today's game, thanks to Safeway's touchdown to win promotion. And if it happens for a second time in this game, you could also be in store for $1 million. Good luck with that match. The Argos heading out and getting ready. Emerging from the break on a Tuesday night against Winnipeg. The kickoff from the Rogers Center is coming up next.
It's the rematch of the season opener to kick off Week 8 Tuesday Night Football in Toronto as the Argonauts host the Blue Bombers indoors tonight.
Drew Willie has passed a series of tests as a young quarterback in the Canadian Football League. He's got another one tonight, that coming off a bad game a week ago. 3 picks, 1 for a touchdown. Drew Willie's Bombers lost to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. On the other sideline, Ricky Ray, 11-10-1 against Winnipeg in his career. He's averaging 281 yards per game, which means in about 3, he'll get to 50,000 yards in his career.
Scott Milanovich's Argos are battered up, but coming off the bye and hope to build off a 31-5 victory in Montreal, which ended a 3-game losing streak. It's the opposite for Mike O'Shea's team. A short week to get ready for this one. Perfect record against the East. Perfect record on the road so far as Michael O'Shea comes back to his old stomping grounds in Toronto.
Just one practice day for the Bombers, but every team goes through it. It's their turn, and see how they respond.
It was 45-21 for the Blue Bombers in Week 1. What happens tonight? It begins with a kick return from Robert Gill, the speedster. The first man missed, but the knee goes down, and he will be stopped at the 25-yard line. 15-yard return. Number 15 is the quarterback, Ricky Ray, leading the Argos offense onto the field.
You heard Matt Dunnigan talk in the pregame show about Steve Slayton, how important he will be to Ricky Ray. Had 100 yards last week, 2 receiving touchdowns. They want to lean on him. Maurice Mann, the only target that Ray is really used to other than maybe Bradwell. And then if you're going to have your run game going or your pass game, the key is up front. Chris Van Zyl leads that group.
Our starters to watch brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard. Argos without 6 receivers. They're going to be offside on the first play of the game as Ricky Ray looks downfield. Open man. The speedster Gill's got it, but it's all going to come back. Maurice Leggett will wrestle him down, but the Argos were offside. Looked like Terrell Sinkfield was offside by couple of strides, and that will negate a 60-yard play.
Yeah, it looks like Ricky Ray didn't move. He threw that pass and stood there.
Toronto number 83, 5-yard penalty. First down repeated.
It was Sinkfield. They have a couple of real burners in Gill and Sinkfield. Off the charts 40 times, but that's a full start that will march them back.
Yes, it is. And Ray lets this go, and then he did not move from about that spot right there. He said, oh, he saw the flag. I went, okay, well, bring it back. We'll reload.
Well, the good sign is how far Gill got behind coverage with 4.1940 speed. Here's Slayton inside, and he'll get dragged down by Zach Anderson. Check the defensive starters to watch tonight for the Bombers.
Well, one of them is Zach Anderson. I want to watch him. Everyone talks about his great motor, 3 sacks on the year. I want to see how he plays with that great energy. Maurice Leggett gets better every game. He leads the team with 2 interceptions. I want to see this matchup. Chris Randall's going to go up against Maurice Mann for most of the night. Now, Mann, really the only veteran receiver that Ricky Ray has a little bit of chemistry with outside of the wide side wideout and Spencer Water, Mike Bradwell. All his targets still out due to injury.
2nd and 15. They dump it off underneath, and here's Slayton. First man misses, and Slayton up across the 35 has a first down. Well, Matt Dunnigan told you to watch him tonight. 17 on that catch out of the backfield.
Starts in the backfield right beside Ricky Ray, and this is a big play. Not only just to get a little early momentum for the home team, but also to get that field position. Got the penalty, pushed him back. You want to get out of that hole. You're punting from deep in your own end.
100 all-purpose yards against Montreal, 2 touchdowns, and he had a pair of touchdowns in a preseason game against the Bombers. Has the carry here, and up to the 43-yard line. And 6 for Slayton on the ground. And everybody watching the Bombers rush defense after what Jerome Messam did to them last week.
Yeah, it was pretty tough stop in that truck for the Bombers on defense. They're a little small, the linebacking core, which is an advantage in the pass game, but becomes a disadvantage with a power back like Messam.
There's Greg Peach, who has 11 tackles in the last 2 games. Second about 3.5. Blitz. Ray gets it all way. Sinkfield changing gears. Looked like he slowed up when he was behind coverage, and it's an incompletion. Not a great start for Sinkfield.
No, that's back-to-back mistakes in the same series, and Sinkfield makes the first one with that offside. Now, he's a young receiver trying to find his way, but this one, he just comes out of his break, and he kind of gears it down a little bit. He's working through the zone. He kind of geared down. Then you can see he goes to another speed when he sees the ball in the air, but by then it's too late.
Troy Studemeyer is the return man tonight for Winnipeg. Swayze Waters with the blast, and it's a big one. Driving Studemeyer back to his 7 in place of Aaron Woods, and this is why Studemeyer cut down by Waters up at the 45-yard line. Looking for more explosive plays on the returns, and Studemeyer gives them one early after a 59-yard punt by Waters. Drew Willie gets set to go to work at over 300 yards the first time he faced the Argonauts. And a 39-yard punt return for Troy Studemeyer. That's the longest for the Bombers so far this year.
Watch Studemeyer set up his blocking by going this way before he goes up the field. He gets his blockers some good angles. He gets out around the edge. His blockers have good angles, and he's got a lane to go.
So he sets up Drew Willie. First down at the 46-yard line. And a pass for Paris caught. Dwight Anderson right there with some help from the middle linebacker, Shea Emery.
Well, Drew Willie needs that bounce-back game. It was a tough one against Saskatchewan. 3 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. In order to get a little balance in the offense, he's going to need a little more of Nick Grigsby. Grigsby just 10 carries, 7 yards last week rushing. They get Patrick Neufeld in at right guard. That should help them in both the running and passing game.
Grigsby with 122 in the first game of the year. And a flag flies as the Argos were showing blitz and jumped the gun.
One of our guys to watch defensively as we're about to get there in a second.
Offside. Toronto number 27. 5-yard penalty. Remain second down.
Weak side linebacker Shane Horton.
You don't want to watch him for that reason. That he was offside, trying to time his blitz there and got caught in the neutral zone.
So 2nd and 6 for Willie and the Bombers. 308 yards, 4 touchdown passes, and a quick start against the Argos in week 1. Over the middle, guns it in, has a first down. Tackle made by Jalil Carter. Clarence Denmark, who seems to play his best against the Argos and comes into this game as the 2nd leading receiver in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, could easily have put Denmark in as a player to watch too, because he has been absolutely outstanding of late and really taken another step in his career, because he's become that perennial 1,000-yard receiver. He's got all the tools in the toolbox. He can take it deep, can catch those intermediates as well.
First down, and now it's into the hands of Grigsby. Big pull right side, ripping it down the sidelines and taken out by the safety Jermaine Gabriel, but that's a 37-yard romp. Pretty easy off the edge.
Well, they just collapsed. That defensive line for the Argos just gets collapsed down inside here as this blocking gives Grigsby the edge. It's like it was Paul Briand that the tight end that comes down and gets the corner for Grigsby.
Longest
Back's dream right there.
Longest run of the year for Grigsby, 37 and a first down. Down at the 12-yard line. Out of the backfield, there's Grigsby again. Tracked by Emery. And taken out along the sidelines. And Grigsby a little slow to get up after a 4-yard gain. Got some help from Brendan Smith there, and Smith's tackle may have sidelined Grigsby.
Take a look at Shane Horton tonight. You'll be in charge of tracking down Grigsby or Paris Cotton if Grigsby has to go out for in the running game. If it gets to the passing game, that's where Jamie Robinson comes in. Has his first interception on the season a week ago, and I put in Brendan Smith because he's going to be in that interesting matchup. He moves around to try and take either Clarence Denmark out of the game or Aaron Kelly and try and limit what they do. But I'd like to see if he gets matched up on Denmark for most of tonight, how that matchup run works.
Take a look at what happens to Grigsby.
Well, he was just pushing the flat here and tried to get out and around the corner. I know Shea Emery was trying to track him down, trips him up. It was Smith that kind of landed on him. Did it get his hip?
31st catch of the year for Grigsby. He is the top running back in that category.
Like he went to reach for his ribs right away. A good sign.
Now bounces up. Paris Cotton will take his spot for the second down play. Second in the league in yards from scrimmage, so guy the Bombers don't want to lose for too long. So there's Cotton. 2nd and 7 for the Blue Bombers. Looking for Corey Watson. Touchdown! Watson wins the battle in the corner, and the Bombers strike first.
That's exactly what he did. You can't cover this any better. Jamie Robinson was step for step with Corey Watson, who's working his way back into the lineup. He was on the roster last week against Saskatchewan, but didn't play many offensive reps because of injury and just having to work him back in slowly. Michael O'Shea said, let's go with them slowly on the teams before we insert him back into the offense. Well, he's back, and he wins this battle.
Second touchdown of the year for Watson. The other came against the Argos in the opening week. And it's a 5-play, 63-yard scoring drive for the Blue Bombers. Liram Hairolahu on for the point after. Second opening possession touchdown of the year for Winnipeg, and the first was against the Boatmen. This one provided by Corey Watson. As he went in a hurry, here's the matchup, and there is Jamie Robinson right there. Watch how Robinson gets all twisted around. Go ahead, run it, guys. It's going to be the corner route from Watson. Okay, stop it right there. Now you're going to see it. He's got to spin all the way back around to find the football. Finally does that. Is in pretty good position, but Watson wins the battle.
Here's Gill on the kick return. And a former track star. Flag comes down as he's dragged down by Maurice Leggett up at the 40-yard line. And they're pointing against Toronto, it would appear. Argos with just 4
During
penalties.
the return, holding. Toronto number 87. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Xander Robinson. The Argos with only 4 penalties for 35 yards in their last game against Montreal, a season best.
The way it's been going penalty-wise for the entire league, up 29%. That's saying something.
Get a gold star for that.
You do.
But they were offside on their first offensive play of the game and set back here by a holding call. Slayton into the waggle. And Ray slides it off, and this is the pullback. Big Alexandre Dupuis with the catch and a first down up at the 39.
I mentioned Ricky Ray and where he is all-time passing list and poised to join the 50K club. He's averaging 281 yards per game, or almost 282. If he continues that, he'll hit bang on 50,000 in 3 weeks. August 23rd in Edmonton.
Interesting.
Yes.
17 for Dupuis, a first down at the 40. Time running out, scrambling away from Vega, throwing on the run, incomplete for Slayton, who was tracked by the corner, Matt Buckner.
He's done more of that of late as well, and that's running of the football. In fact, Ricky Ray has more rushing yards than Darian Durant or Bo Levi Mitchell, two kind of more athletic quarterbacks. And I don't mean that as a slight to Ray, but he's a pocket passer that runs occasionally in a season. He's rushing the football a lot more, probably because he's missing his entire starting group at receiver. All the starters out due to injury. I don't think I've ever seen that.
No. Calgary's losing running backs. Toronto's losing receivers. They're on the same team. They wouldn't have anybody. Ray dumps it off. There's Slayton. And he is going to get wrapped up and going nowhere as Derek Jones, the youngster in at the Sam linebacker spot, makes the tackle.
Well, you know, Steve Slayton's been contained a little bit here early in this game, but he really kind of settled in against Montreal a week ago in the win for the Argos. He talked about those 2 receiving touchdowns for Slayton. Had a good game. He's starting to get a feel for the angles and the size of the field and what he can do. He's got that great NFL resume.
Waters a short line drive kick, and again, it's Studemeyer with another good return beyond the 40-yard line. So that change by the Bombers has been effective early. 18 on the punt return. Putting Drew Willie back on the field with good field and the football. Let's go down to the sidelines and join Matthew Shinetti.
Chris, the Argos just honored Mike O'Shea because he returned now as the Winnipeg Blue Bombers head coach. But when he came here, and when he was here as the special teams coordinator, he had such a strong relationship with Scott Milanovich. And the reason for that is, as Milanovich explained to me this week, is because they both are the exact same coach. They both take responsibility for preparation and then expect their players and respect them to follow. So when I asked Milanovich what happened when O'Shea got the job in Winnipeg, he said, we talked on a daily basis, really exchanged advice with one another. We don't do it so much now, obviously, but I told him about micromanaging schedules, about how to get players ready, and he gave me advice too about certain situations. But the real key that Milanovich said is, when I arrived, I knew I had a friend in O'Shea because he already acted like a head coach and helped me out a lot. Guys?
Well, Milanovich had a great start to his head coaching career, and now Michael O'Shea, 5-2. Anderson may have jumped offside. That pitch pass was read well. Brandon Underwood on the corner with the quick stop on Clarence Denmark.
Absolutely did. I mean, Dwight Anderson in the neutral zone on a blitz again. And, you know, when you look at these two teams.
Offside. Toronto number 33. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Again, I mean, is in the Argos, I think, have had
3 or 4 penalties in a row here. And you think of these two teams, the one that was on the 5-day work week with just one practice, maybe a little sloppier. That was Anderson right there.
Well, no excuses, but is it a team coming off a break that maybe a little jumpy? That's Grigsby back in and tries to push the pile. And they scrum it a little further downfield and close to a first down.
I think that offensive line for Winnipeg is listening to a little bit of criticism this week, talking about they have to play better and give Drew Willie some more time, open up some more holes for Grigsby or Cotton.
And Patty Neufeld back in at right guard after missing last week. Matthias Gosen, the rookie, started last week, but the veteran, former Saskatchewan Roughrider, back in a familiar spot. 6 for Grigsby and a first down at the 54. Paris Cotton taking that end around. He gets sliced down in a hurry. And that one didn't look too smooth from the get-go.
Well, no, I mean, it didn't look like Drew Willie even had time to catch this and hand it off to Cotton. He was there a little bit early, and because of that, it sort of they kind of juggled it around. Here's Cotton coming across, and watch as it hits the hand of, and he just takes it right out of his hands. Not a handoff. That was I'm going to take this and go with it.
Argos sent Nick Rosamonda in as a 4th linebacker. Into a 3-4 alignment on 2nd and 12. Here comes the extra man. Willie gets it away. Catch made by Robbie Bryant, who was in the Argo camp to start the year. Cut loose at the end of the preseason and back with the Bombers.
Well, the throw that Willie has to make in this case, because he had pressure from the secondary. Jermaine Gabriel came on a safety blitz. So he had one more that could be blocked up front, and because of that had to dump it off and hope that his receiver could make one guy miss. Robbie Bryant couldn't do that, so they'll have to kick it away.
Hairulahu back in Southern Ontario. We are told about 45 family members here tonight as he gets set to punt it to Brendan Smith. High kick short, and it will bounce out with no return at around the 20-yard line. 33-yard punt with no return. Ricky Ray will try to work on this 7-point Bomber lead when we come back to Toronto. Another West-East matchup. And this just in, the West is dominating. 16-2. Curtis Steele straight ahead. Good run on first down for Steele as he plows for 7.
That's how you settle things down offensively. Go back to the run game. You don't get the offsides. Just allow the guys to go run block and make something happen. And that's real good yards on first down. It opens up the playbook in a big way for Ricky Ray.
Just 3 carries for 10 yards in the opener against Winnipeg for Steele. Sets up a 2nd and short situation here. Argo's 7th best rushing the football. They are the top team passing the football. And it's Slayton. It will be dropped short of the first down. There's the safety, Maurice Leggett, who it just seems like we're talking more and more about with each game for Winnipeg.
Yeah, absolutely. He leads the team with interceptions, a couple. He's got a sack, a few knockdowns on the season. They're using him more in different ways, taking him out of the middle, bringing him down low. Sometimes he'll come on that blitz. This was really a run blitz. They knew they were going to run the football, so they brought him down and try and get in the box and help out. He makes the tackle short of the first down. On 2nd and 2, that's advantage offense, so that's a big win for the Bomber deep.
Waters again to Studemeyer. Trying to get outside, and he gets tripped up. Flag on the play. That's Sander Robinson with the tackle. Or Ivan Brown checked that. 97 with the good downfield cover. Will check the flag.
Wondering if that was a fumble as well. It looked like it. Lost control. The ball went out of bounds. I'm not sure first if it was a fumble. I don't think it was ruled out on the field.
Holding. Winnipeg number 41. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Derek Jones gets called, so it's moved back to the 30.
Take a look quickly here as it's taken this football upon further review here. It looks like he is down by contact. Tripped up here, hits the ground, ball comes out late. So no fumble on the play. Penalty against the Bombers pushes them back a little.
Their deepest start, their 30-yard line. Gabriel showing blitz. He's on the move. Pass to Aaron Kelly, who burned the Argos in the opening week. Gets corralled there at the 35 and has 5. He had 100 yards, a couple of touchdowns in that season opener.
Well, he had 5 catches week 1 for 100 yards. You mentioned it, Chris. Had a couple of touchdowns in the game as well. Drew Willie, 4 touchdown passes in that one. And really surprised a lot of people. After coming off a tough season, the Bombers came out of the gate on fire against the Argos.
Just 1 catch for 11 against the Rough Riders. They give him 6, 2nd and 4. Here comes Gabriel again, pocket collapsing. And Willie has to throw that one high, his first incompletion of the night. And the Argos get a 2-and-out.
Interesting blitz here from Jermaine Gabriel. Comes down from the safety spot. He goes on the blitz, and when he comes down on the blitz here, you see Shane Thornton roll back into the middle. So basically, they're not blitzing without a safety. So Willie looks down the middle and sees 27 down there and says, well, I can't just throw the hot route to the middle guy. Now I got to throw it away.
Mike Bradwell's back. Ira Lahu to punt. Bradwell at his 23 did a good job against Montreal. In a rare punt returning duty, gets strung out here. Not much on the return and a late flag after the 51-yard punt.
Really was late. It was almost right in the tackle. Bradwell's doing pretty well in the return game.
Of course, they miss desperately Chad Owens, who they expect to be back by Labor Day.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Toronto number 29. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's Curtis Steele, and the Argos already with more penalties than all of their last game.
Here's Chad Owens. You mentioned Labor Day. Andre Dury out. Jason Barnes out. John Childs out. Far left of your screen, number 29, Steele. And he gets that late hit right there, right beside the pile.
Play action fake to Slayton, and away goes Gill. Robert Gill up to the 25 and a first down. Guy with blazing speed. And the 18th receiver to catch a pass from Ricky Ray. He's the fastest. And if you have any doubts, this was him on YouTube. This has got about 3 million hits as he registers 25 miles an hour. You know what would happen if you or I were on that?
We would have shot right out of the back of that thing.
Be another area code.
Wow.
Over the middle, Darvin Adams. Nice catch. Devon Washington with the hit, but Adams holds on.
Yeah, good catch. Darvin Adams. Tough one over the middle.
And that is the final play of the opening quarter. Drew Willie set the tone early. Opening possession touchdown drive using Nick Grigsby effectively and connecting with Corey Watson in the end zone. 7-0 after 15 minutes in Toronto. The first quarter in week 1, 7-0 here tonight. And there are the numbers after 15 minutes.
Well, the big question coming into the game was how was Drew Willie going to bounce back from a tough game against Saskatchewan with 3 interceptions and under 60% in his completion percentage. He was 6 of 7, over 80%, a touchdown throw to Corey Watson. So he has bounced back from a bad game. That was a good first quarter. Didn't put a lot of points, but he had the touchdown throw. And his only incompletion, Chris, the one he threw away.
And Ricky Ray, 5 for 7 so far, but the Argos took too many penalties in the first 15 minutes.
Did they ever? Looks like they were anxious after the break. They've had 12 days to prepare for this one, and they were jumping offside all over the place. They got to control that and rein that in. It puts them in a hole on first down too often.
Start the second quarter with
Mitch Gill in the short yardage team. 2nd and 1, and a plunge ahead. And a good one for a first down, but there are more flags on the field. 6-yard sneak for Gale.
Offside. Winnipeg number 92. That penalty be declined. First down.
Ryan Turner playing in his 50th game, called on the offside. Chains move. Argos with a first down at their 41. There and a handoff. Slate, look at that nifty run, still going. And Unamo will finally drag him down on the bomber side of half. That's what Matt Dunnigan was talking about. Sometimes the pitchers speak louder than words, so I'm just going to let you enjoy this run. I mean, this is pretty.
Nice. That was real nice.
This time they fake to Slayton on a roll. Ricky Ray. He'll give it to Maurice Mann. Try to cut back. And he'll be brought down again by the youngster, Derek Jones. Well, Ricky Ray knows Maurice Mann. Brought in with all the injuries to the receiving corps. Mann worked with Ricky Ray back in Edmonton between 2007 and 2009. He had over 1,400 yards in those years with Ricky Ray. Played with Ray again in 2012, just for 8 games that year, the Grey Cup year. And so it's familiar territory, and a guy who's led the team last couple weeks. 3rd game start for him, and last week it was 5 for 75 against Montreal. 6 catches the week before. And that tells you you just can't replace experience. And even though he's been here less than a month this time, he's the senior guy almost in terms of experience. I mean, Spencer Watt is another guy with, but you've got Sinkfield and Gill just learning along with Darvin Adams. Well, that's part of the issue with Toronto. I mean, this offensive system by Scott Milenovich is, I believe, as complicated as any, or more so than a lot of offenses in football. And so it's not just as easy as bringing in a young receiver and trying to learn this. It's almost impossible. That's why they go back to guys like Maurice Mann, who know it.
2nd and short, and again, Gill in the short yardage team. We've mentioned with the Gill catch tonight, 18 different receivers for the Argos. In contrast, Winnipeg's had 14 different receivers this year, but by far the Argos have utilized the most, including 5 tonight. And Gill has another first down, this time off the left side behind left guard Tyler Holmes.
I just heard from Dontrell Inman, who was former Toronto Argonaut, who's down with the San Diego Chargers, apparently doing real well with the Chargers. It's great to see. And he described it recently, the Scott Milenovich offense, as said when he went down to San Diego, he said learning the Scott Milenovich offense is like algebra compared to kindergarten math. When you're talking about the comparison between this offense and what he's trying to learn in San Diego.
Inman with over 100 yards in his first preseason game with the Chargers against the Cowboys. Here's Ricky Ray dancing, delivering, steal the catch. Deesha done the tackle, but it's another Argo first down.
That's why it's so good. I mean, Ricky Ray moves around in this pocket, but eyes are always downfield. You know, he's never looking at the rush. He knows where the rush is. He feels it. He can feel the pressure, so he continues to move. Continues to move around. Eyes downfield all the way, and throws on the run with Jiro Kowali right in his face.
Kowali making his first appearance against the Argos back here since being part of the 2012 Grey Cup champions. Steal inside. Good run. Powered away. And the man steals in. Touchdown.
Touchdown for Curtis Steele.
A
taking off the lead of Steve Slayton after his big run to start this drive. Curtis Steele says, here, give me a shot. Let's go. In the backfield, right beside Ray, and a nice run here. Look at the move to bounce back in off the block there. It looked like Wayne Smith with a nice block. Eight plays, 97 yards, and the touchdown. Extra point from Waters, and the game is tied. We've seen some nice runs on this series. Well, the Rough Riders had success on the ground, and now the Argos enjoy some on that last possession. Capped it with that 19-yard run by Curtis. Starts this drive off. This is a beauty, worth looking at again to start this drive, and then Curtis Steele picks it up from there. This is a 26-yarder, quite a pretty one. And then here's how Curtis Steele finishes the drive off with a 19-yard touchdown run. Studemeyer on the kick return. Argos cover team has had trouble with him tonight. He battled for an extra 5 yards that time as well, up to the 30. So Drew Willie back to work. 4 300-yard games for Drew Willie, which leads all quarterbacks at this point in the season. Couple with 2 games over 300 yards passing. Of course, last week it was in the loss to Saskatchewan. Denmark in motion. And the handoff goes straight ahead, and Grigsby up the middle, up to the 37-yard line. We all were watching to see how Drew Willie would bounce back, and Coach Scott Milanovich knew what to expect.
He's been an outstanding quarterback. I think he's on his way to being an elite quarterback, and you're going to have those games. And the great ones can just put it behind them and keep chucking it. And if it's throwing 3 picks, go out there and throw another one if you have to. You know, those guys, you have to have no conscience and go back out there and cut it loose and not worry about throwing an interception. And he's been very impressive. I think he's going to have a great future ahead of him.
Just delivered on 2nd and 3. A catch for Aaron Kelly in front of Dwight Anderson. He didn't mind suggesting that if Drew wants to throw another interception, he can, but nothing but respect for a good young quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely, and a guy who knows the position. Played it in college, played it in the pro level, and has coached it so well. Scott Milanovich talking very highly about competition's quarterback in Drew Willie, and he has bounced back.
First down up at the 42. Fakes to Grigsby. Whiteside in pursuit. There's Corey Watson, the catch, and he'll get stacked up, and that helmet popped off in the contact there, and that's Dwight Anderson without the lid, but a big smile after that.
Just running the offense right now. Drew Willie is just taking the short ones. Here comes Corey Watson out of the backfield, and he just taking that dump one, not trying to force it downfield, just taking the short one right now. And there's the hit by his teammate that knocked the helmet off of Dwight Anderson.
Yeah, it's Underwood. And although we saw Anderson smiling, he did put a knee down, and they're going to take him out for at least one play. So Vince Agnew checks in. Gabriel went offside. Yes, there go the flags, and it's another offside. They had 9 offside or procedure calls in week 1, and they look like they're back in week 1 tonight. That's 4.
It's just, it was almost as if...
Offside. Toronto number 5. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
I mean, Drew Willie has been holding this safety blitz off with his cadence all night long so far, because he's being patient with this one right here, and I'm not sure what Jermaine Gabriel was thinking. I mean, he ran right up, almost touched Chris Greaves there.
Changes the play call now. The Jumbo team comes in on 2nd and 2. Hands it off to Grigsby, trying to get outside. There is a flag, and it looked like an Argo defender had his shirt tucked in pursuit of the ball carrier.
Yeah, that was Jamie Robinson. He was right off the edge. That was right at point of attack. So he was trying to break free and get to that run, get contained on it.
Before yards were gained. Holding. Winnipeg number 26. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Fullback Carl Fitzgerald.
There's Jamie Robinson right there. Fitzgerald fits the jersey, yanks it down. You can't break through to get contained, and that's going to be called.
So instead of converting on 2nd and short, it's 2nd and 12. Back at the Bomber 40, and there's another offside unless Aston Whiteside clapping. He may have been drawn. And they are going
procedure. Winnipeg number 53. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Neufeld moved prematurely.
Once the hand goes down, you can't move. See, he got his hand up early. Defense reacts off that.
It was 2nd and 2. 2nd and 17. Underneath there, and Kelly the catch. Gets up to the 45. Stopped by Robinson. And the punt team will have to come on for Winnipeg.
Let's see if the Bombers have made any adjustments defensively. It looks like they're struggling a little bit against the run again after that last touchdown series by the Argos. Remember, last week in the 2nd half, Jerome Messam for Saskatchewan had over 100 yards rushing.
Huda on the way. Takes the Ian Wild snap. Bradwell trying to spin off first contact and dropped at the 20. Deja Dunn downfield, or Don Yanamba downfield in a hurry. Scott Milanovic has talked about altering the playbook with all the injuries. More on that when we come back. Game is tied at 7. Argos with the ball to the sidelines. Matthew Shinetti.
Guys, Andre Dury, Jason Barnes, who's behind me, and Chad Owens are probably going to be out at least until Labor Day. So what Scott Milanovic has tried to do is reduce the volume of the playbook. Now, that doesn't mean simplify. Owens, Dury, and Barnes know so many nuances of a playbook, of an offensive playbook that has around 120 plays every week. It's really variations of particular routes. So what Milanovic has done for Robert Gill, Terrell Sickhill, and even Maurice Mann is reduce that volume, simplify certain routes so they can gain that kind of comfortable relationship with Ricky Ray that Ricky has with Barnes, Dury, and Owens. At this point, though, after a good week of practice, Milanovic is confident that the guys are a little more in sync with the playbook.
Also looks like they've turned to the running page of the playbook, which hasn't been a very big page in the playbook, but maybe tonight.
Well, it's an important one tonight with those guys out of the lineup. I mean, Chad Owens still ranks 4th in the CFL in catches. I believe he's 7th in the CFL in yards still, and he's missed 3 games. I mean, that's what kind of start he got to the season.
Just ran Slayton for 9 on first down. And on second down, Slayton across the 30 has a first down.
Right now, the Argos, you talked about that running game, Chris. The Argos are averaging about 8 yards per carry. A couple of big runs by Slayton and Curtis Steele.
And again, a team that ranks at near the bottom, 7th ranked, rushing the football, 88.7 yards a game. Looks like they're en route to that here in the first half. Again, they go double tight ends. Flag down, Ray, and the catch made by Maurice Mann would be a first down. We'll check the laundry on the field.
Jason Vega came up limping for the Bombers as well. He's heading to the sideline right now. This looks like it is coming back.
Offside.
Another one.
Toronto number 10. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So that's the 5th offside against the Argos tonight.
One of the toughest things to learn for new receivers is the waggle in the Canadian Football League, especially those that are coming up from the South, that whether you're coming out of college football down there or playing in the NFL at times, you have to learn how to hit that waggle with timing. And it's coming down before the snap of the football towards the line of scrimmage, which of course you don't do in the NFL, and then timing it up with your quarterback's cadence.
1st and 15. 4-man rush. Ray with a few steamboats, but nothing available, and just throws it away.
Mike Cornell sniffed out the...
This may be grounding the football.
I was going to say, Mike Cornell sniffed out the screen to Steve Slayton. And when he was covered, Ray didn't have anywhere to throw it.
That's a mistake by the veteran quarterback, though, to not put that one into the Bomber bench, because he really wasn't under any pressure.
Yeah, throw it away across the line of scrimmage, not grounding.
Intentional grounding, Toronto number 15. Be 2nd down and point of foul.
See, this ball has to be thrown behind the line of scrimmage with no receiver in the area for it to be intentional grounding.
Also lose the down, and it's 2nd and a bunch. What does Scott Milanovic have in the playbook for this?
Just enough to punt it, I think, is the prudent call here.
2nd and 24. Give it to Gill. Makes one man miss. Well, they rally, and there's a big hit. Damon Washington. There's going to be a flag.
Yeah.
A little taunting.
Going to get a taunting call.
Make a good play, but then make a mistake.
Damon Washington close
After the play, objectionable conduct, Winnipeg number 7. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
I mean, he leads the team in tackles. He's been all over the field, having a great season, and just makes a bad choice. I mean, get excited about it. Go and celebrate with your teammates, but you can't stand over the guy you just tackled and taunt him. And that's exactly what he does when he looks down at him like that.
So 10 yards of real estate, but still a punting situation for the Argonauts. Washington tied for 3rd in the league in tackles.
Still punting, Chris, but this is a game of real estate, and that's important real estate depending on what kind of return the Bombers can get here.
Studemeyer's got the job done so far tonight. See if Waters can help contain him. Angles the punt down around the 23. Get a flag here, and look at Studemeyer. He's stepping over midfield. Probably coming back. But Studemeyer has been almost unstoppable.
Swayze Waters is kicking a low driving punt here to try and keep it away from Studemeyer, and because of that, he's given him a lot of room to run before the cover team can get down there. Looks like this will come back on a holding call. It was an early flag in the process.
47-yard punt, 55 on the return, but
illegal block, hands to the face. Toronto number 19. Penalty be declined. 1st down.
Will stand against Toronto.
So Studemeyer has set up the Bomber offense once again, as he did for Drew Willie's first touchdown drive of the game. Tied at 7 here with under 5 minutes to go. First half in Toronto. The fashion guy suits, and in the next few weeks, all the teams unveil their signature look, their jerseys. This is the Argos. A little Columbia blue, a little Oxford blue.
I like them. I mean,
but you're not the play-by-play guy. Where's the number on the front?
Well, it's there. It's in the corner there. You got.
Yeah, they do look pretty nice.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I like that look.
You made for effort?
Absolutely.
Here's Grigsby bouncing it outside, and Jalil Carter knocks him out of bounds.
Business as usual for Drew Willie, not showing really any ill effects from a week ago, or 5 days ago, I should say. So much so that he earlier in the game recognized the defense that he didn't like and threw it out of bounds calmly.
6 for Grigsby, 2nd and 4. 4 receivers to the wide side. And looking into the corner. Looking for Collard. Got it. Touchdown. Rolly Collard with his 2nd touchdown in as many games. This will be under review to make sure he did have a foot down.
Well, we'll take a look at that, but what a great catch. And again, back-to-back games with a touchdown. As you mentioned, Chris, he had 3 for 55, ran a great corner route last week for a TD. There's a double move on a little hitch and go on Brendan Smith. And question is, does he keep his toe in bounds? He does have the football under control and continues to have it under control when he hits the ground. He has to survive contact there. It looks like he did there. I think the only question is whether or not he had his foot in bounds.
He did have a look at the scoreboard showing the play and gave himself a little fist bump. He believes he got the foot down, and it looks like that tap right there will be good.
The previous play is under review. After review, touchdown. Early on the field stand.
It was the drag. I mean, this is the best look right here, I believe. And Collard has the ball now, and you can see there's a little bit of that, the pebbling and the turf comes up, and he does it again there.
And survives contact. Most fans disagree.
They're having fun either way.
But here's a young guy that's starting to emerge, isn't he, Rory Collard?
Yeah, absolutely. This whole receiving core for Winnipeg is settling in nicely.
That was Schultz's guy prior to the game.
But, you know, he steps up his game, and he has over the last 2 weeks, making those tough catches. That was another contested catch. Smith was in good position. He had to fight him off, keep his foot in bounds. I mean, that's what established star receivers do, and Collard's becoming that guy now. If they round him out and keep Corey Watson healthy, got Aaron Kelly and Clarence Denmark being their best, all of a sudden that's a pretty dynamic receiving core.
And Drew Willie has his 2nd touchdown pass of the game, 10 on the year, and 6 have come against this Toronto defense.
Boy, his demeanor reminds me of Ricky Ray in a big way. You can't really tell by his face whether he's up by 7, down by 7, just throwing an interception or just throwing a touchdown. You really can't tell.
Number 10, Gill from his 10. Following steal, the blocker into the open field and crunched down at the 49 by Dan West, but a nice return by Robert Gill. Well, you mentioned the comparison, Ray. Let's see how 15 answers after that touchdown drive by the Bombers. And both Winnipeg touchdowns set up by good Stoudemire returns tonight.
Yeah, the return game is on tonight. We've seen a couple both ways. Pretty good returns. That was not a bad return at all by Gill.
Xander Robinson sets up as a wideout. Don't usually see that from 87. A swing it the other way, and it's Slayton. Across midfield, first down. And Russell to the ground at the 47. Unamba back in to make the tackle.
Start making those comparisons, and I know Drew Willie's got a long way to go, but let's go back and take a look at these two quarterbacks in their first 11 starts. Ricky Ray had a couple more wins after 11 games. He had a little bit better touchdown interception ratio, 20-6, awesome, off the charts, but surprisingly, Drew Willie has better completion percentage after 11 and more yards after 11 passing. Again, I mentioned the demeanor being so similar.
Slayton inside, and this time getting tackled after 2 or 3.
And you think about it, you know, we raved about the fact that Ricky Ray came into the scene and hadn't really backed up anybody and had so successful early.
Ray's got something going here, trying to cut into the lead by Drew Willie and the Bombers at the 3-minute in the CFL.
Matt Dunnigan was back up before he got the chance to start. Most quarterbacks do. Ricky Ray was the exception.
Argos looking at 2nd and 7. Trying to extend the drive. 6 receivers up. Short drop, quick hit, first down. Terrell Sinkfield has his first catch of the night.
Nice low accurate throw so Sinkfield could protect himself across the middle. Terrell Sinkfield has that slant route coming into the middle, makes up for an early offside penalty, 15-yard gain, and moves the chains.
I know it was the preseason, but boy, he had an outstanding game against Hamilton. So good that at the last minute he edged out Robbie Bryant, the veteran, for a receiver spot on the Argos. Catch there, and now they swing it to the speedster Gill, and he gets cut down. That's a nice play by Matt Buckner off the corner to upend Gill and limit the damage to 2.
I remember when we talked about Ray back in 2002 when he came into the league and how most quarterbacks play as a backup for 3, 4, 5 years. And he just stepped onto the scene and was winning immediately, answered all the questions right out of the gate that you have for young quarterbacks, and see a little bit of Drew Willie in him, and the numbers are very comparable.
Well, we did see some bumps in the road early on.
Sure.
Going to be some obstacles. Another 2nd and long. Ray sideline pass, and Maurice Mann's got it in front of Chris Randall. Another first down, and this is a good-looking Argo march.
I just want to wrap up my thought on this with the fact that I know some are probably listening saying, did Suter just compare this future Hall of Famer to a guy in his 12th start in the Canadian Football League? And I'm talking about how they both began, and obviously Drew Willie's got a long way to go. And another real accurate throw as Ray finds an answer to Willie's touchdown.
Argos, the number 3 team in the red zone, 1 for 1 tonight. And looking into the end zone here, touchdown! Maurice Mann, a convert away from a tie game.
Here is the chemistry rekindled between Maurice Mann and Ricky Ray, because Mann is going to run this slant route, and he's going to tell Ray he's going to be open before he gets there. Here goes a little stem route. Now he goes to the post, puts his hand up, say, yeah, just throw it to the middle, and I'll just go get it.
Sure that's not Jason Barnes, because similar, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Veteran chemistry. Made it look easy.
Hey, R.I.P. Mike Brown to that police brutality, baby. Back.
Extra point from Waters. And with 1:21 left in the first half, back on even terms.
Here's the touchdown throw again from Ricky Ray. Gets nice protection as Steve Slayton steps up and takes the blitz off the edge. And I loved how Maurice Mann, just coming out of his break there, he stuck his hand up and almost pointed to the target and said, just throw it over there and I'll go get it for you.
Just like riding a bike, baby, having fun out here.
He's back.
That's a touch. Shout out to my boy Brucey.
First touchdown grab since 2012 for Maurice Mann.
Just like riding a bike. Only you get hit. You get hit a little bit, but
9th touchdown throw for Ray on the season.
That's the answer. I mean, that's a veteran quarterback. And that's what the Bombers have been saying. You know, they may not have some of their targets and guys like Chad Owens, but they've still got Ray pulling the trigger.
Makings of a real good game here tonight. Harris, Cotton, or check that Studemeyer again. Ran into his own man, and Curtis Steele will wrestle him down at the 25. And so Willie has a little time on the clock to get that lead back once again.
It is Nick Grigsby in the backfield with him. 7 catches for Grigsby last week. Wasn't a good rushing day, but he did have over 60 yards receiving.
First down to the 25. Argos blitz. Robinson on the move. Opa Malugo gets home. And do they say Opa when he gets there? Opa, sack of the year for Opa Maluga.
He gets back on track. Okapalugo has 4 sacks. That's his 5th of the season. He had a couple of games without one, and he's going to take advantage of the blitz coming between Jamie Robinson and Shane Horton. They take up the blocks, leaving the defensive end open off the edge, and that's how you draw it up defensively. One guy's got to be free. It's just a matter of which one it'll be.
Coaches haven't been using their timeouts in the first half much this year. Thought that maybe Scott Milanovic might hear.
Winnipeg number 5. That penalty is loss of down.
But now he doesn't have to, because the Bombers are going to have to leave the field.
Inside of 3 minutes, loss of down, and now
that's a costly penalty.
Absolutely.
Argos are going to get the ball back. Good field position here, and they didn't have to use the timeout.
Sarcastic comments about the fact that there won't be much crowd noise here. That crowd noise just affected them. And it may give the Argos a chance for some points.
Bradwell back. Standing at the Argo 42. Iralahu from inside his 5. Short punt off the side of his foot and out at the Argo bench. They're already in Waters' field position, a 24-yard punt. And the Argos take over at the Winnipeg 40. Well, where are they going to spot it now? It's like closer to the 44. Nonetheless, lots of time on the clock for Ricky Ray to grab the lead for Toronto.
Just the accumulation. You get the good sack and defensive call by the Argos. Puts Willie in a hole. The crowd in that corner, they get loud. He can't get the snap called. Now they got the penalty, lose the down, a bad punt, and all of a sudden Ray has a chance for a major here. He's got time to get it done.
Resetting at the 44. It's a 26-yard punt. First down, Toronto. Ray looks one way, another, shovels it off, and it's Bradwell getting hooked down, a little face mask there, and that will enhance the field position. Bradwell, a veteran who knows all the positions in the receiving corps for Toronto.
Major foul, horse collar tackle. Winnipeg number 7. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Another penalty against Demond Washington, a horse collar, not the face mask.
I think they may have got the wrong number here, Chris. I thought it was Desjardins that was in on the tackle. And it can be the shoulder pads or the jersey. And if you grab the jersey, it'll be to the right of your screen here. Yeah, it was Desjardins.
Ricky Ray in trouble, got it away, and Bradwell the catch. Short yardage, but Ray avoids a sack.
Yeah, Greg Peach, he got home, he just didn't get home. He didn't need to get there a split second sooner.
So instead of the sack, they get 3. 2nd and 7 from the 18. 2 for 2 in the red zone tonight. Jeff Keeping calling signals for the offensive line. Ray steps up underneath. It'll be Bradwell again. First down at the 6. With 7 seconds to go, and well, do they get one more play in, or do they just send Waters out for the lead?
Well, they're moving Bradwell around a little bit. You mentioned the fact that he's got that versatility, right?
Timeout, Toronto.
He's a guy that knows all the spots, so he's kind of playing like the Chad Owens spot on this offensive play, and then just comes across the middle, delays a little bit, opens up late for Ray, and they're on the doorstep.
Well, he handled Owens' punt returns in the last game and said, I'll take his receiving spot too.
Sure.
6-year vet out of McMaster, so they've got the time, stop the clock, and they can run a play and go to the end zone. And
they do, but it's got to be a play that's efficient. I mean, Ray can't be back there counting on a lot of steamboats waiting for a deep developing route to the back of the end zone. I think he's got to throw it quickly and not sacrifice the free. It should be automatic from there.
See what they have called.
Will it be 7? Will it be 3? Or will the Bombers come up with a play? Short drop and over the middle. Touchdown, Xander Robinson. What a fake by Ray. 15th straight completion for Ricky Ray. After Willie throws a touchdown to Rory Cullert, he comes back with back-to-back series, 15 straight completions, and he looks off all coverage here. Watch Ray look off the coverage here. As he drops back, he's looking to his right the whole time, looking to his right. Stop it there. Looking to his right. He looked this way the whole time, came back across as soon as Ian Wild moved to his look, and throws another touchdown. First touchdown of the year for Robinson, who had a couple last year. Ricky Ray has 2 touchdown passes in the game. Drew Willie has 2 in the game, but the Argos have taken a 1 touchdown lead after the sack, the delay of game, and a short punt. And again, special teams that helped Winnipeg early. Watch the look of Ray. You're going to look right at him. Look to his right, and then he waits. As soon as Ian Wild sees him looking there, Wild opens up a little bit to that side, and defense says, yeah, baby, we get the sack, we create the turnover, or they get the punt back, and you knock it in the end zone. Big-time momentum going in at halftime. 15 straight passes. I mean, not that you can tell by his reaction, but yeah, 15 in a row. And without any of his starting receivers. But we've seen this movie many times before, including one last year, 19 for 20 in a half against the Bombers. Sometimes your receiver like Xander Robinson has to get himself open. Sometimes the quarterback can get you open by his look, and that's what he did there. Ian Wild bit on the look by Ray, and Robinson just had to stand there and catch it. The squib downfield. Studemeyer one more time. And he is rocked at the 43, a 28-yard return on the final play of the opening half. Darvin Adams and Michel Pierre-Pomerant get separated at the end of that. And they'll head to the locker room after a good first half of play that sees the home team with the lead after a last-minute touchdown at 21-14.
At the half in our CFL and TSN studio, Rod Smith back with the panel of Milt Stiegel, Matt Dunnigan, and Chris Schultz. Wow, we expected to talk a little more about defense, and then the Argos did what they did. 2 touchdown drives in the last minute and a half, Matty. Ricky Ray on absolute fire. 17 for 19 in this first half for 177 yards.
Yeah, and I know what Suits is talking about. You know, he's not making comparisons between Drew Willie and Ricky Ray because they're gaps apart, and Ricky Ray is on a level all himself when he's on a roll like this. Hey, forget Andre Dury, Chad Owens, and certainly Jason Barnes, because this guy can work with anybody. He's already completed balls to 8 different receivers in the first half, and there's Xander Robinson. It's like, Xander who? Yeah, it's Xander Robinson scoring a touchdown, and it just doesn't matter. You have to be ready. This is all Ray. Looks him off. Ian Wild, the middle linebacker for Winnipeg, goes the other way, and there's Xander sitting all by himself. Good scheme, well executed by a veteran quarterback who's simply on fire. The run game's huge for this football team. And Schultz, at the top, we talked about how important it was for Toronto to play their game and not like Winnipeg dictate their scheme, which is very unorthodox. I know that Gary Etcheverry, defense coordinator, doesn't like that word, but it is, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. It is one of those situations where it is unorthodox, and the Argonauts are playing fast with the game plan, executing it flawlessly.
And for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, really, the only success they had this game is the opening drive. They ran 6 plays, 63 yards, 2 minutes and 46 seconds. And the reason is they had some first down success running the football. If you get first down success, it opens up everything else. Watch this. Then slants in. The linebacker scrapes the outside. And watch Michel Pierre, Paul Briand. How about that, Rod? He
nailed it.
Perfect zone block, guys. Stays under control. Look as the end leaves. He doesn't bite on the end going in. Goes up to the next level. Pins that linebacker in. That means that Nick Grigsby can find a seam on the outside. They had success early running on first down. They didn't do that against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Really, for the Bombers, the only thing that they've done well is they started strong. But truthfully, as the half has gone on, Toronto's gotten a little bit stronger. Winnipeg's regressed. We'll see what happens in the second half.
Now, that said, Schultz, Drew Willie's numbers, not bad. Not a lot of yardage, but 10 for 11. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. We talked about offense and defense. Special teams, too, and Troy Stoudemire, the return game for Winnipeg.
Yeah, that's the big reason why Winnipeg is still in this game. You talk about offense, defense. No, it's their special team, their punt return team, in particular, Troy Stoudemire, who's playing in his first game. And this guy has 2 returns for 40 yards and 61 yards. That's 100 yards. That's 10 first downs. That's putting your offense in great field position at least get a field goal. And they've gotten 2 touchdowns out of him. He's taken full advantage of getting his opportunities. Coaches always talk about you're going to get your chance. And when you get your chance, what are you going to do with it? Well, Troy Stoudemire right now, regardless of what happens in this game, is saying I'm going to be on this roster because I can help this team out. I can return punts and I can return kicks. And that's exactly what he's doing right now.
As it stands right now, a close game. Looked even closer before that final Argo drive with just seconds to go to Xander Robinson. 5 touchdowns scored, and they were alternating up until that last one. Corey Watson, Curtis Steele, Rory Kohler, Maurice Mann, and then Xander Robinson. 21-14 Argos at the half. Great start to the game for Drew Willie and the Bombers. He's 10 for 11 in the half, but they are trailing. After a couple of late touchdown drives by the Argos, it is 21-14 at the Rogers Centre for Toronto. 15 points, but all losses, as Milt Stiegel would say, doesn't matter. Well, it matters to the Argos right now, and perhaps their mascot in there somewhere, that they are leading at the half over Winnipeg, 21-14. We'll be back. The half. Here's Schultz with the stats.
Hey, Rod, both quarterbacks playing very well. 10 out of 11 for Drew Willie, 17 out of 19 for Ricky Ray. But Ray has thrown 10 touchdown passes so far this season to 8 different receivers. Milton.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and Scott Milanovich must be loving what he's seeing out of his quarterback and his offense in the late stages of that half. Here he is now with Matthew Shinetti.
Coach, everyone talks about the pieces you're missing, but Xander Robinson, Curtis Steele, Mike Bradwell execute the end of that half. How good does that seem to you?
Well, our guys are playing hard. We need to clean up the penalties. We've given them 14 points, I think, based on field position and penalties. Our young guys are making some mistakes, but they're making a lot of plays, too. We just got to clean it up in the second half.
I wanted to ask you about the penalties. What message will you have in the locker room?
Just that we got to stop killing ourselves. It's offside plays are costing us 35 yards because we're hitting passes downfield. So we need to keep doing the good things, clean up the bad.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, man.
The sun sets in the east. The Argos and the Bombers still playing halfway through, and a good one here. 21-14 Toronto. We'll be back with the second.
21-14 as we get set for the second half. First, Matthew Shinetti with Rory Kohler.
Rory, take us through that touchdown grab.
I just beat him outside, and Drew put a great ball out there, and I just came down with it.
What was the message in the locker room, given that you guys only have 1 week of practice? What kind of adjustments did you guys talk about?
Just go out there and play hard. 1 more week. It's just another game. Try out there, we're going grinding.
Thanks, Rory.
Thank you.
Since one thing we haven't talked about is the heat in the building here tonight for a team that's on a short week.
It's not affecting these quarterbacks.
No.
Ricky Ray and Drew Willie combined for 27 of 30, 90% completion percentage in the first half. Between the two quarterbacks, they missed just 3 throws.
And Ricky Ray had 9 different receivers. I don't remember a team in one half of football ever utilizing 9 different receivers, but that's how Ray spread it around in the first half. Roof is closed here because of a thunderstorm warning in the area, and it's a warm night here at the Rogers Centre. Will that impact this second half of a team playing its second game in 5 days? Hasn't impacted Troy Stoudemire. Another good return as he gets up close to the 45, 34 on that kick return.
He's got fresh legs. He's got fresh legs in the lineup here tonight. He had in the first half almost 200 yards in returns. He had 119 kick return yards, 77 punt return yards. Adds to that total.
During the return, illegal block.
Oh, hold on.
Winnipeg number 33. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Won't add to that total, but could have without the penalty, yeah.
Costly. You heard Scott Milanovic at halftime talk about the Argo penalty issues. And it starts for Winnipeg here in the second half. Bombers had 50 yards in penalties. Most costly was that delay of game in the final minute that they lost it down and gave the ball back to the Argos, who capitalized with the go-ahead points. Grigsby taken down near the line of scrimmage by Ivan Brown.
Make a good point, though, Chris, coming out of the gate there, that the team on the short week, the 5-day week, which the Bombers are in, they want to get out to a good start, because as the game goes on, the tank empties quickly. I mean, that first quarter, adrenaline should carry you. You get through the second quarter because you still have that much gas in the tank. It's how long can you hold on?
They had 118 yards in the first quarter, 45 yards in the second quarter.
Right.
And second and long here. Really looking to over the middle to Rory Kollert, who makes the catch, but he's going to be short of the first down. Kollert at the 24. They had to get to the 26. So it's third and almost 2.
Former Argo, Mike O'Shea, took a look. He did. He walked about 8 yards out onto the field to take a look at exactly how far he had to go in his own end, and wisely decided that, no, that's too far, over a yard.
Swayze Waters had a 10-yard per punt average advantage on Irolahu in the first half. And this is a short boot that Bradwell will take on a hop and end up at the 25-yard line.
Tackled by number 38, Ian Wild.
Important part of that final drive to end the first half. Mike Bradwell coming in and changing up his alignments, playing different positions. Was the dump guy here, just basically coming out of the backfield. He ran a crosser route a la Chad Owens. Perhaps some Argo momentum with a major inside of a minute. They took over the football in that series with 47 seconds to go.
Now back to work at the 46. And a drop that ends the streak of 15 straight for Ricky Ray, as Robert Gill can't hang on to the hitch. Ray has the second longest completion streak in CFL history at 20, too shy of the old teammate, running mate Jason Moss. And he had a feeling maybe he'd take a run at it in this third quarter, but Robert Gill just took care of that. Remember 19 for 20 against Winnipeg last year, and it was John Childs with a blatant drop. And Moss still holds the record. Second and 10. And we're not going to get this play off.
See, this is against the Argos, but Scott Milanovic mentioned
time count violation. Yeah. Toronto number 15. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
The head coach talked about that to Matthew on the sideline at the break. Just basically got to clean up the penalties. Our young guys are making plays, but they're also making mistakes. You got to kind of live with some of those. But when they're taking big plays off the board, that particular penalty there didn't, but early in the first half, they had a couple of deep throws taken back because of offside calls.
Holding the opening play of the game. Big one to Robert Gill. Second and 15. Ray in trouble, and he is dropped. Jason Vega gets home. Brian Turner was there as well.
You know, I think that was another example of Robert Gill running a route that he extended a little too far. Ray looked like he was ready to throw at one point and then pulled it back down because his receiver wasn't looking at him. I mean, you take a look. Take a look at Ray, who I think he wants to throw it right there, and then his receiver kept running. Didn't break out.
So a sack apiece. And just a 33-yard punt for Waters, so flags down. Good defensive series by the Bombers. Maybe they get a little momentum here.
No yards. Toronto number 53. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Attack on the no yards penalty. Drew Willie will have good field position after Greg Jones is flagged for no yards. Bomber football. Here's Matthew Shinetti.
Guys, a couple of weeks ago, Drew Willie talked about his relationship with Buck Pearson, offensive coordinator Marcel Belfay. When I spoke to Buck Pearson today about what he spoke to Willie about following that loss to Saskatchewan, he said the key for Drew to remember is that he has a support system and to not change what's been working for him so well. I kept telling him, listen, don't change your routine. Make sure you stick with what has worked, because if you allow pressure to deviate from what has worked for you, then problems are just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. The key for Drew this week, Buck told me, was to keep it simple and to stay true to what has gotten him success so far.
11 of 12 so far tonight, and the one incompletion, he didn't like the defense and threw it out of bounds deliberately. Or he'd be on a streak of 12 straight.
Starting at the Bomber 50. Fake to Grigsby, out of the backfield, Cotton, and he gets away from the first man, and then gets dropped on the Argos side of half. Tackle made by the safety, Jermaine Gabriel.
Brandon Underwood took a shot here, and sometimes defensive backs, because the running backs come at full speed, and Underwood 28 to the right of your screen, he's going to try and go low and cut the legs out from underneath, and that's how you can look sometimes when you try that. Sometimes it doesn't look real good on film because you're kind of grabbing grass and the guy's gone. Artificial grass in this case.
2nd and 3. Little delay, Robbie Bryant, and that one almost picked off. Intended for Bryant, and Jermaine Gabriel comes across. And Willie, somebody ran the wrong route, or maybe there was an interference call that he thought should have been made.
Well, Robbie Bryant is talking about that. He's down. He's the wide out. They put 3 into the boundary, and Robbie Bryant's just going to run this go route. There's no interference there, so I don't see any interference on the play. And I think you're right. Willie was talking to his receivers.
A little surprised because the location of that football was
in between.
Yeah. 4th 2 and out of the game for the Bombers. One hopper to Bradwell at his 10. And the cover team down there quickly once again to contain Mike Bradwell. Ian Wild, the long snapper, first man downfield. So Ricky Ray has a 7-point lead here. Shy of the 5-minute mark in the 3rd quarter. We'll go back to work with the open offense when we return. Oh, slow start to the second half. We've had 3 possessions, 3 2-and-outs. And a deep start for the Argos here as they go back to the ground. And go to Steve Slayton. Fumbled the football. And Deja Dunn's got it for the Bombers.
Well, Slayton did not argue it when he got up. Steve Slayton, wondering when he got into that pile, was he on the ground? But he was clearly not. He got hit and lifted up. It looked like it was it done on the hit as well. Damon Washington was there.
You could see that ball coming out. 10th fumble loss by the Argos this year.
Chris Randall came in from the secondary, put the shoulder right on the football.
So we'll see if this energizes the Bombers.
He forced the fumble right here. Hey, come on, this guy. Come on, guy.
Giving Teague Sherman credit. Mike O'Shea's talked about his penchant for forcing fumbles. We'll take the Cotton and Robert Marv trying to go around the end. And
Lang's going to get a penalty. Cleon Lang made the sack Chris, and then taunted.
After the play, objectionable conduct, Toronto number 90. 10-yard penalty, be 2nd down.
Comes from the backside, and he's going to run Marv down, and then gets up and just not sure. Oh, excuse me, he came right up the middle. Now watch what he does after the fact. There it is.
He will get credit for the sack, but I don't think that will be factored in for the coach.
2nd and 7. Willie, quarterback draw. Straight ahead. Big collision.
Oh, he took a big one.
Shane Horton got a big hit on Willie, who's wobbly after that.
Well, he took a big hit there. He becomes a running back once he takes off in the open field. The protection for the quarterback is gone then. Now he's just another player running with the football.
And coming up a little bit short. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 1. May get a measurement.
Gets around Emery, who gets blocked there, but you're right, Shane Horton. Close enough that you go for it. I think you're Mike O'Shea down there. More importantly, how's his quarterback feeling right now?
Trots off. The short yardage team led by Marv back into the game. So Willie gets at least a play to collect himself. And now the big boys get hunkered down in the trenches. Backs in behind Marv. And it's Robert Marv for the first down.
Oh, yeah. And then some.
We talked about this last week against Saskatchewan. They were stopped in a 3rd down and short situation against BC. Went back to the drawing board, step for step in practice, and it's been pretty efficient since.
And he went right behind Patty Neufeld at right guard. Again, that's back in the lineup, a veteran. He went right in behind him. Needed a half yard, got a couple.
1st and goal now. And Willie checks back in. Counter to Nick Grigsby, and Grigsby in, touchdown. 8-yard touchdown run. Nick Grigsby.
Got both backs in the backfield tonight, and a couple of times we've seen series like this. Paris Cotton will be back there with Nick Grigsby, and they've got both. They run a little cross action where Cotton comes across the formation, Grigsby goes the opposite direction, little misdirection play.
Like a big block from Clint January. Man, a point away from being tied again. Extra point from Ivalahu, and Grigsby and the Bombers with points off the turnover. After the fumble by Steve Slayton, Grigsby makes the Argos pay.
Here comes Grigsby this way and Cotton out here. Watch January pull and come in and get the block on Shea Emery. It's the key one. 69 coming around the corner now. He fills it in. Stop it right there just to the left corner of your screen. Makes the key block right there on Emery, and Grigsby's in.
Flag down as Robert Gill follows the convoy up around the 40-yard line, but we'll see if this stands or not. Winnipeg had 21 points off turnovers in the first meeting between these two. 7 off the last
illegal block. Toronto number 21. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Penalty on former Bomber Anthony Woodson. Another deep field position start for Toronto.
By the way, I mentioned penalties in the league up as of this week by 29%. Almost 40% of them have been in the kicking game. Those young players and the kick return teams that are committing a lot of penalties, and we've seen a lot of those tonight.
Argos start at their 11. Take the Slayton, a little sidearm, and here's Gill. Turns the corner. And then is angled out at the 25. That gives the Toronto offense a little breathing room. Robert Gill, who did not play college football, basketball, and track star.
Watching a little bit of the center here in Jeff Keeping as he has to make all the calls on this Echeverry defense. Make sure his offensive line are all going in the right direction.
Objectionable conduct. Winnipeg number 84. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Winnipeg 84 would suggest that Robbie Bryant from the bench did something. Unless they got the number wrong, and that's why Mike O'Shea has a confused look on his face.
He's wondering if it was something said by Bryant. He would have been on that sideline.
So now up to the 35. Collapsed, a little outlet to Slayton. And he gets punished at the 39 as Ian Wild, the middle linebacker, comes across.
Yeah, and Deja Dunn bought some time so that Wild could come and help him, but he held his ground on Slayton. Slayton tried a couple of moves to shake him, and we saw him do that in the first half very well. That real nice run to start a touchdown drive. But this time you get Deja Dunn out in space. Tough. You got to buy time for your friends to come. There's Deja Dunn just dancing with him a little bit, waiting for his friend Ian Wild to get there.
Slayton had 73 yards from scrimmage in the opening half. Give him 4 on that last play. 2nd and 6, Toronto. 4-man rush, quick hitter, drop ball. Should have been caught, should have been a first down, and Spencer Watt couldn't hang on.
Mentioned the 3 incompletions by these two quarterbacks in the first half. Rays had 2 in the second half that were just flat-out drops. One by Robert Gill on a hitch pass. Hit him right between the 1 and the 0, and that one between the 8 and the 9.
And Watt really the only incumbent receiver in the lineup for Toronto. Stoudemire lets that hit the ground, and then he'll have to scoop it up at the 17. We're going to call 5-yard, no yards. But the way Stoudemire's return tonight, the Argos will probably take that just to make sure he isn't going anywhere.
In fact, coaches, which is one of the reasons I want to change the rule if I could. More on that later.
Bomber football in a tie. Argos were concerned about the 5-yard, no yards penalty, but they are by a rough play against Winnipeg native Thomas Miles, the University of Manitoba Bison product.
I thought there was a little bit of a late hit there. It was a shoulder driven right into Stoudemire, and another bad decision by a young player on the team.
So it turns out to be a 20-yard advancement for Winnipeg off a pair of penalties up to the 38. We'll fake to Cotton, and Denmark has Dwight Anderson in his hip pocket.
That's a different cat right there. Dwight Anderson is still doing some sort of dance with 2nd down coming.
Holding Denmark to a pair.
That's coming in this season, and there's Clarence Denmark right at number 2. Now, keep in mind that some teams have played more games than others.
6 100-yard games for Denmark, 2 against Toronto, and also a 99-yard game against Toronto. They send the house. Willie puts it up for Aaron Kelly, and it's incomplete.
Aaron Kelly, if he's been watching games lately, doesn't want to gesture to the officials. He thought about it there when he put his hand up.
There was a bomber back protecting Willie who signaled about a pass interference penalty, and I wasn't so sure we weren't going to see one.
Well, yeah, it didn't look like there was any grabs or anything. If anything, possibly screening. As Underwood kind of pushed into him without looking back, but no flag on the play. And then Aaron Kelly turned around, kind of put one hand up, and then realized quickly that draws a penalty flag in a hurry now. And I love that rule.
5th 2 and out for the Bombers, 3rd in the second half. But they have generated the tying points, and Jim Daly's infuriated. Argos have to call timeout. Looks like they have 13 men on the field.
I say, I've just
12, 13. They still have 13.
They do. You had to call the timeout, burn it, because he was hustling down, and Dwight Anderson.
So they used a timeout.
That's a long run. That's a long and humbling run when you're the guy that shouldn't be out there. Interesting that happened to Dwight Anderson when he was dancing around after a first down tackle.
Pressure. Iralahu got it away. He went down, but no flag, and Bradwell will step out at the Toronto 40-yard line. Well, they went after him. And a 35-yard punt. CFL Fantasy now a reality. Go to tsn.ca/CFL Fantasy. Set your roster for a chance to win a trip to the 102nd Grey Cup. And a Joseph Abood suit from Moores. Every pick counts. Make yours today. Coach front row center enjoying the action.
Ricky, big pass, buddy.
Here at Rogers Center tonight. Ray underneath, incomplete, intended for Slayton, who was being tracked by Ian Wild.
Now, Wild made an adjustment. Remember that touchdown throw to Xander Robinson where Ray looked him off? This time Wild just locks into his man, which was Steve Slayton. And rather than worry where the quarterback's looking, he just stays with his man, and eventually it does come to his man, and he's there to knock it down. Again, a guy who has not committed a penalty all season long. Well over 400 plays.
Ray was almost perfect first half, 2 for 5, 18-yard second half. Throws a completion here. Matt Buckner defensively, tossing the receiver back. Forward progress, the 49 for Spencer Watt, and that's going to be a yard short of the first down.
Is it close enough? And again, got
Mitch Gill's coming out.
Yep. Yeah, he's taking a good long look at this.
And Watt is the 10th receiver of the night to catch a pass for Toronto.
He wants to get a measurement and take a look to see how close they are inside a yard.
So they don't have to get to the 50-yard line, but a good guideline to know if he's made it or not when Mitch Gill sneaks. If indeed that's the play call.
Yeah, they got Wayne Smith back in the O-line. I mentioned Jeff Keeping, who Scott Malenovich said is going to be real important, have a real important role in this game against a lot of different looks.
And Wayne Smith with his 100th career game start tonight. It's a lot of pounding in the trenches.
Rolled off a couple of guys with those arms, I think, just get them going forward.
And the sneak by Gill, and you can see he got the push across the 50 before he got driven back.
He's going to get that mark, isn't he? Because that first surge didn't look like he had it. He kept working at it, fell off the left side of the O-line, and when he fell off the O-line on the left side there, got him behind Keeping and Holmes, and when he did that, he kind of rolled forward and did get past the 50, and he didn't need to get to the 50, so that'll move the chains.
So a fresh set of downs for Ricky Ray just beyond the 50. Hands it off, and they try to get that run game established again, and that ball popped loose again, and Maurice Liggett's got it, and it looks like it's Bomber football. So Steve Slayton has fumbled twice here in the second half.
They're still discussing it, and right now Keeping is in there trying to suggest that he was down.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Winnipeg. First down.
There's a clarification for you. And the second one in a row by Steve Slayton.
What a good push. And that
No
ball
question.
ripped out
Yep.
again, and again it's Teague Sherman, who came into the game with a couple of forced fumbles. Looked like they were crediting him with the last one against Slayton, and that's another for the University of Manitoba product. And Slayton's put the Argos in a bind here with a couple of second-half fumbles. Bombers take over at the 48, and they'll hand it off to their running back, Grigsby. Nothing doing. Shea Emery there with the stop. Emery, who played his 100th game in the last outing for Toronto against his old team, the Montreal Alouettes.
The UBC product. Eastern Washington first. In a year with the UBC Thunderbirds in Vancouver. Leader of that defense, making the calls and the signals and the checks on Drew Willett. Big down here. 2nd and 9. Pocket collapsing, flag down. Willie takes off, and he'll be close to the first down, but those flags all in the area where you anticipate holding.
Offside, Winnipeg number 81. That penalty is declined. Illegal block, hands to the face, Winnipeg number 68. 10-yard penalty, first down.
For Daryl Howard, not a hold, but it'll be marked back the same way. The right tackle. Not illegal block. Yeah, Howard's over here. He's working one-on-one on Aston Whiteside, and he gets his hands up in the face. Now there's a bit of a size mismatch. 6'4" versus 6'2". 2nd and 19. 4-man rush. Willie over the middle. There's Robbie Bryant. He lost the football. Argo's around it. Cleon Langs gets it back for Toronto. The former Argo cops it up. 6 turnovers for Winnipeg last week. Their first of the night. Robbie Bryant's thought here has got to be, and he's a veteran receiver, his thought's got to be, positive yards, punt the football on this 2nd down play that they've got a mile to go. I mean, penalties push them back, so you want to get some positive yards here, from the backside of the play. Whiteside the strip. Didn't see that contact coming from behind him. So, right about the spot that Slayton bumping the football, the hitch to Gill. Through traffic. And close to a first down. Looks like he should have it inside the Bomber 40. We talked earlier about the humidity and the heat in this building with the dome closed in the summer, and it's so that could be part of the ball security issue for these guys. The ball's getting a little slimy, and so are their hands, and they take that extra second to secure it. Somebody turned the air conditioning up. Hasn't been as crisply a played third quarter after pretty interesting first half. Takes the steal. Ray rolls, throws, and Teague Sherman makes another play. Knockdown intended for Robinson. Let's head back to the sidelines here again as Matthew.
Guys, a quick note about Cleon Lang. I asked Scott Milanovic who he thinks is most underrated player on defenses, and he said, well, it's Cleon Lang. He has shown so much maturity so far this year. It's the reason why Milanovic actually made him part of the locker room committee that he put together a couple weeks ago. And he said what really distinguishes Cleon is his attention to detail, not just on the field, but in the meeting rooms as well. And the fact that he gets a fumble, the fact that he has so much energy is really what has been impressive Milanovic so far this year.
Edmonton native, a key Canadian on that Argo defense as a starter. There's a completion, Watt the catch, and he does have the first down. Was dancing a little short of it before heading north and moving the chains once again for Toronto. 14 for Watt. Nice protection for Ray to go through the progressions. He has to go through a few, and Jeff Keeping here again calling these signals. Watch how he's in the middle here, and he's pointing guys out where they're lined up. He's checking them all. Now he's talking and communicating to the rest of the line. He said, okay, they're going over there, and this is the protection. I got this side. We're helping you. Ray's got time. Hits Watt. 14 for Watt. First down for Toronto. Curtis Steele has the football straight ahead. Close to 9 more. Tripped up by Damon Washington. Steele with a touchdown in the first half. And that is going to be the final play of the third quarter. Tie game when we return for the fourth. Argos with the football in Bomber territory. in for a good finish tonight in Toronto.
For the Argos, we see the turnovers 2-1, and right now the Winnipeg Blue Bombers had those 2 turnovers created, but only scored 7. They took advantage of the first one, not the second one. Now the Argos are poised here to take advantage of their turnover created by their defense. So we talk all the time, Chris, about how important that is, the sudden change. Can you take advantage when your defense turns it over for you?
A lot of offense. The turnover's a big factor for that in the second half, but is it a matter of a lot of good adjustments?
Yeah, adjustments, and defenses are stepping up in that third quarter. The Argos have a chance here to put some points on the board, but we saw the great completion percentage for both quarterbacks in the first half. That's changed because of a little bit of pressure, a little bit of changed stunts, and again, they're just creating some turnovers by ripping the football out.
Short yardage team in, second and less than a yard. Yale follows Big Jeff keeping. Wayne Smith. Tyler Holmes should have a first down.
Good football game going on here, though. I mean, there's lots happening in this game. You saw some good offense in the first half. Seen some defense in the third quarter. Now in the red zone, Toronto Argonauts have a chance here to take this lead.
Team's been in the red zone 5 times tonight inside their opposition's 20-yard line, and the offense is 5 for 5 in the red zone this evening. Ray from the shotgun, pulls it down, takes off, and now flips, steal, touchdown! Ricky Ray, double clutch just in time.
Take a double take there to see if he didn't cross the line of scrimmage. Don't think he did. No penalty flag down. That's just Ricky Ray creating on the run.
Steele has a rushing touchdown, now a receiving touchdown. And again, the ball scrimmaged on the 15, so watch that.
Well, and just like that, ball scrimmage on the 15th. Ray steps up. As he across the line of scrimmage, he tightrope walks it.
Nice little sidestep and spotted Steele in the nick of time. So now the Argos get 7 off the turnover.
So points off turnover, 7-7 in this game. And
I want to say thank God, man. My family, my wife, my lady, man. What's up? Box, just let me live. I love you.
2 touchdowns on the night, 4 for the season for number 29.
And he got to play in that series because of a couple of fumbles by Steve Slayton, who got a place on the bench because of it. Ray looked like he was locked in to run and then just pulled the trigger as he's falling down. Not hit there, just trying to stay behind the line of scrimmage.
Not a signature quarter route for Ricky Ray, a quarter route pass, but just as effective.
Well, sometimes they don't ask how. It's how many, and that's another one in the touchdown pass column for Ricky Ray.
Did look like he was going to take off, and it did look like the Bombers were going to contain him and maybe punish him if he did cross the line of scrimmage, but veteran savvy, 3rd touchdown pass of the night, and now 11 on the year for Ricky Ray.
Well, and Curtis Steele, nice adjustment by him to run with Ray. Saw him scrambling, went over and presented himself as a target.
How much Troy Studemeyer got this time? Runs hard, doesn't he? Stopped up at the 34-yard line this time.
Well, the best guy to answer that question is the guy who just hit him. But yeah, he's been running hard.
Brendan Gillanders, the former Ottawa GG, in on the stop, and he gets congratulations on the bench. So Drew Willie will try and respond. Here comes pressure, another flag. Open Bryant, in behind coverage. Jalil Carter trying to catch him. And Robbie Bryant will get home, touchdown. But is it coming back? And Drew Willie was rocked. And he is slow to get up.
Illegal block. Hands to the face. Winnipeg number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It will take a 76-yard touchdown off the board. Darryl Howard.
Yeah, back-to-back on Howard. Willie took a hit delivering it as well.
Hands to the face, the call on 68 against Cleon Lang. I don't know if there was anything there.
Initially, it was a punch. It certainly wasn't as glaring as the last one when he was up against Whiteside. That looked like more of just a quick punch to the face and then down. Often they'll let that one go. Didn't in that case.
First and 20. Argos sent pressure. Screen to Grigsby. And he's not going anywhere. Opala Ugo there again to contain Grigsby, and they lose 5 more. Setting up 2nd and 25.
Boy, that running game still got to try. No, that was a quick screen pass to Grigsby, but Ricochet still trying to figure that one out. Get a little more production out of his run game, out of his tailback position.
Argos send 6. Here they come. And Willie dropped down inside the 5. Aston Whiteside and Jamie Robinson arrived at the scene at the same time.
And they're on opposite sides of Willie, so there's no escape area. He's got great mobility. In fact, Scott Milenovich talked about how mobile he is. There's one coming here, and you're going to see another coming there, and they just bracket Willie and don't give him any side to escape. Here's 51 on his right, and there comes Jamie Robinson on his left.
Ira Lahu booting it out of his end zone. Good boot. Bradwell back at his own 50. But Bradwell, decent return to the Bomber 50-yard line. 52-yard punt, 10 on the return for Bradwell. And the Argos with the lead and the football in Bomber territory when we come back. Turning up the heat on Drew Willie here in the 4th quarter. Big touchdown. Let's take another look at the penalty on Cordero Howard.
Yeah, and you know, when I look at it again, saying that often the officials will let a little punch go, but that was, he got up in the face of Cleon Lang and cranked his neck back. That will be called. Cordero Howard's got to get back to his technique, get his hands inside and on the chest plates of the defensive line coming in.
What a turning point penalty, though. Curtis Steele, the running back. Another good run for Steele. Powering his way for a first down and trying to rip the ball out more. Ends up being a 20-yard gain. You're right. Bombers may have conceded some extra yards trying to rip the football out as they did against Slayton, but Steele holds on and gets 19.
Well, first I love how low he is. His low center of gravity keeps his pad level down when he's going through traffic, and then as soon as he feels contact coming, he gets that other hand on the ball, and now, yeah, you're right. A lot of the Bomber tacklers trying to rip the ball out. While they're doing that, he's still pushing for yards.
Ends up with 19 on the play. First down, Toronto. Steele has 54 yards on 4 carries. This is the 5th. And Zach Anderson will pull him down at the 28. Curtis Steele, the returning running back this year. A guy that they didn't want to give full-time duty to because he's so valuable on special teams. But Jeremiah Johnson not in the lineup tonight. Steve Slayton now watching after a pair of fumbles. He's getting the Rough Rider treatment.
Yeah, well, a couple in a row you can understand.
Second down, Ray, sidelines. And Matt Buckner against Spencer Watt makes the defensive play.
Yeah, I think Ricky Ray, if you asked him and he was honest, he'd say he's happy with the incompletion there. That one kind of drifted out there and was floating, and only because Buckner was on the outside of that and couldn't really go through the receiver to get back to the ball. I mean, this is an interception going the other way. Matt Buckner gets on the wrong side here of Spencer Watt, but if he's on that inside edge and sees it in time, that ball floated.
So Swayze Waters gets set for a 35-yard attempt. But we're getting a challenge here. We're going to... Scott Milanovic wants to keep the offense on the field, and he's suggesting pass interference.
Take another look at it. I know Matt Buckner made a little contact.
Toronto is challenging that there is defensive pass interference on the play. We'll review the play.
Wasn't really looking for that, was looking at the ball and the shot that Matt Buckner had to make that interception. But let's take a look. You see the ball floating high in the sky there. Not sure about that. Here's another look to the right. I mean, this is Matt Buckner. He does make a little bit of contact, but it looks to me like he's going up to try and knock that ball down, and he has as much right to it as the receiver. I don't know. I don't see enough.
And the calls that have been overturned have been pretty decisive or flagrant. This one,
yeah, the precedent,
a little tighter.
The precedent for these challenges has been, you got to really see. I mean, there's a little bump early, but Buckner's going up to play the football now. If they choose to call that bump, it was a little early before the ball arrived. It looks to me like Matt Buckner didn't in any way try and pull the receiver, twist him, try and impede his jump to the football in Spencer Watt. He went up with his hand to try and knock it down. It took so long to get there.
Watt didn't get up with any reaction as if he'd been interfered with.
No, and I think when they have overturned this, which has only been a couple of times, it's been blatant fouls that were simply missed that the officials just didn't see. When they've been close like this so far this year, they have kept the call on the field that's made on the field has stood. But every scenario different.
And they're taking a long look at it.
Well, both players are watching it on the replay here in the stadium as well. They've got their eyes locked. They're making their own reviews. There was a bump early, and the bump from Buckner was...
After review, we have pass interference.
Wow.
Winnipeg number 2. Point of foul, automatic first down.
I would suggest that goes a little against the precedent of the season. I'm not going to say it's the wrong call.
Yeah, no.
Just we haven't seen that kind of call yet.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this goes against the precedent that they've set, that it's got to be sort of, a blatant foul that you see pass interference and it's clear to everyone. Now the bump before is early. So, and as we mentioned off the top, that bump is early. Did that take Spencer Watt out of his position to catch the football? I'm not sure.
14-yard penalty and a first down to get the Argos inside the Winnipeg 15. Handed off to Steele. And down to around the 11. So a couple of penalties for Bomber fans to chew on here in the fourth quarter.
Well, it's good challenge for Scott Milanovic. He was real close to that play, so maybe he saw that bump as a lot bigger a deal than I did, but successful challenge. See if they can cash in.
2nd and 7. Steele out of the backfield. Pressure coming from Greg Peach. And the pass incomplete on the hurry by Peach. So the Bombers force that Argo offense off the field anyway. And Swayze Waters and company come on. Would have been a 35-yard field goal attempt for Waters. Now they will set it up from around the 18. (15 of 18 on the season for Swayze Waters with the powder blue issue shoes.
I'll match those new unis. Nice.
Yeah, that'll be good. And so is the field goal. You can't miss with those, can you? 10-point lead for Waters and the Argos.
I couldn't pull them off. I'll tell you that.
No, me neither. Just over 8 minutes to go. Home team with the lead. It's in Ottawa. The next food drive will be at TD Place on Friday.
3-1 Toronto tonight so far. A couple of penalties by Cordero Howard.
At the 35, Robinson, the blitz off the edge. Willie gets it away, but incomplete, intended for Clarence Denmark.
This is the part on the short week that you're deep in the game and the big boys start to lose their technique a little bit. And I'm not giving an alibi here for Howard, but, you know, we're talking about keeping your hands in tight, getting him on the chest plate, using those feet. He loses the blitzer off the edge there. He's got to just remain focused for a few more minutes in this game.
5 for 8, 20 yards passing second half, had a 76-yarder taken off the board. Bryant the catch, but not going to get to the first down. Contained by Jalil Carter. And another Bomber 2 and out.
Now this is not bad. They don't get the first, but I've been watching Howard and how he reacts after back-to-back penalties, working on Whiteside here, Aston Whiteside. And this time he's got his feet going, get his hands down lower. Got a little bit of a grab there on the backside. Got to be careful with that. But Schultz, he's watching this technique back in the studio. He's got to get the hands in there on the inside numbers of the defensive lineman. Again, a little bit sloppy there as he took him wide. But
After
a better
play,
series.
Objectionable conduct. Winnipeg number 84. 10-yard penalty. Be third down.
Well, it's the second against Robbie Bryant. Well, the first one we're not so sure because he wasn't even on the field. But the coach lets you know the reaction of this latest penalty for objectionable conduct.
Trying to plead his case with Michael O'Shea, who's not listening now.
Bradwell fields it and then gets punished right where he caught it. Good downfield cover by Jesse Briggs. Ricky Ray with a 10-point lead. 3 Pacific on TSN, TSN.ca, and TSN Go. The Argonauts in fine form tonight.
The first 3 weeks of the season, Ricky Ray was at 75.7%. Dropped when he lost his receivers to 60%.
Robert Gill the hitch. And Robert Gill, first down, late flag as he crossed the 45.
Tonight he's back up to 76.7%. 24 of 31 if this stands on that throw. And it doesn't look like it's going to.
Before yards were gained, holding, Toronto number 83. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That'll be Sinkfield. And ball marks back to the 24.
Working on Deja Dunn here, I believe. Yeah, he steps up to the bottom left of your screen right here. You see he grabs the front of the shirt.
Right alongside where Gill was carrying the football. So first and 20. Fake to steal. It'll be Slayton out of the backfield, or Gill again out of the backfield, and he lost his footing across the 25, so just a short gain. Well, you were talking about the Ricky Ray pass percentage. And this is in his games with the Argos. 19 times in 30 games, 70% or higher. More impressively, only 3 times below 60%. 2 of the last 3 games, which led you to believe that with all the changes at receiver, it was starting to
affect him.
But not tonight. Second and long. Open as Bradwell's got a ways to go. And Bradwell may have gotten there. What a spin move. A little extra effort from Mike Bradwell. Just checking to see where he might have stepped up. It is an 18-yard pickup and a big one to move the chains.
He has nice spin move, stay in bounds here. The first one, he just kind of breaks between two defenders, but that spin move there just gets them the extra yard and a half. They can't believe it. The Bombers are getting the football back in a key part of this game, and not yet. Not for a couple more downs.
Fourth catch, 41 for Bradwell on the night. He takes a breather, and they go double tight ends. Back to Steele. Big game. Into the secondary. Into Bomber territory. Devon Washington with the tackle, but Steele has 18 more.
Tyler Holmes, Sir Vincent Rogers. I see both of you. There you go. And this is the parting right here of the season. I mean, the double team on Ian Wild. Poor Ian Wild had 305 and 320 bearing down on him. He's only 208 pounds.
Argos at 154 yards rushing. In the two losses for Winnipeg this year, they surrendered 192 yards on the ground to Edmonton, 186 last week to Saskatchewan. So if you can run against the Bombers, you've got them in a bind.
Yeah, last four games at 145, 4 to the 5 games that they just finished giving up, and that's a lot of yards along the ground. Defense can cause all kinds of problems in the passing game, this Gary Echeverry defense, because they come from different angles. They come from different spots that and coverages that offenses aren't used to. It changes up so rapidly. In fact, Scott Milenovich has said that about Gary Echeverry's defense. Said one time that they were looking at the film and saw 20 different coverages out of a certain scenario. But against the run, you can get some creases.
Argos season high rushing the football, 161, and a win here against Saskatchewan. Curtis Steele again. Finds another crease and down to the 40-yard line. So that's 7 more, and that will match the Argos season high rushing total.
Well, nice alternative for Scott Milenovich here when his starting tailback out of West Virginia, Steve Slayton, is having fumbling issues. A couple in back-to-back series. He can go to Steele, and they haven't skipped a beat in the run game. Over 100 yards for Slayton before those fumbles, so he was productive in the first half.
Clock running, back in the hands of Steele, and does he convert? He does. Falls forward down to the 35. And the Argos have the chains moving. Big night, Curtis Steele.
Well, and here's the other thing, and we talked about this a little in the pregame show, but you talk about against the run of this Bomber defense. Now, their linebackers are quick, they're fast, they're smart players, they're good football players, but Teague Sherman weighs in at just under 200. Ian Wild is just over 200 at 208, and then Deja Dunn, he's in there at 195, so they're a little bit light in the backside, the linebacking core.
Last week it was the 245-pound Jerome Messam, and now it's Steele chewing up yardage. Wrestled down after a couple this time. Curtis Steele not in the Messam weight class, but he's been a handful, and Ian Wild's been shaken up. And now Steele to the sidelines, and Steve Slayton comes into the game.
Winnipeg.
Let's take a look at what happened to Ian Wild, and it's becoming a long night and a long back-to-back. Talked about having to tackle Messam 5 days ago.
Timer, please reset the clock to 3:30. Can you go tell them?
And it looked like he just
3:30.
Jammed himself there a little bit. The way they're looking at him, this might be one that they have to be real careful being Wild just to make sure he's moving his legs and everything. That's great. Great sign. See him sit up like that. know there might be some of those fringe football fans wondering, well, what about the D linemen, those 4 big guys up front? I mean, they're also in charge of stopping the run as well. The Argos can block that up. They can block big on big. Basically, get your O-lineman, Rogers, Holmes, keeping. You get a big guy on a big guy, so you lock down the 4 defensive linemen, including Greg Peach, who's just having a great year. And then now what you're expecting from the Bombers' perspective is that your linebackers scrape to the tackle. And that's how you stop the run. Or you run blitz, send as many as you can so they can't block it and try and stop the running back before they get any downhill speed.
And Jesse Briggs has to come into the game, the rookie out of McGill. Jarrod Kowali out of the game with a shoulder injury as well. So no Wild. There's Kowali on the sidelines. And the Argos have exploited that. And now Ray, open man, touchdown, Spencer Watt got in behind Chris Randall.
I loved the celebration right after the throw. Ricky Ray and Sir Vincent Rogers. He and his tackle, just nice little, that's a nice one, quarterback.
First touchdown of the year for Watt.
He gets in behind in a big way here. Chris Randall is in chase. He's turning around wondering what happened.
So with under 3.5 minutes to go, the Argos take a stranglehold on this one. Ricky Ray's 4th touchdown pass of the night. Waters the point after. And the Argos are just over 3 minutes away from their 2nd straight win.
Spencer Watt gets in behind Chris Randall in a big way. That's saying something. I think this Randall and Washington have been among the best in that short side together as far as corner halfbacks go. But I'm trying to figure out here by looking at this if it's a zone defense or a man cut concept. It looks like man. And Chris Randall, to me, he got caught just kind of leaning on Spencer Watt a little bit when he ran that little fake to the sideline. Just kept going right down the rail and had a 4-yard lead on number 8.
4th different receiver with a touchdown tonight. Spencer Watt, Xander Robinson, Maurice Mann, Curtis Steele.
And a little bit of heavy legs by the Bombers.
Yeah,
you can see it.
Everybody gets short weeks.
Yeah.
Now they'll get a bye. Argos are going to have a short week against the BC Lions. Here's Sunday. Studemeyer's had the freshest legs, and he's shown it. It's written out there by Darvin Adams as we hit the 3-minute warning with Studemeyer in enemy territory over at the Argo bench. Here's the latest touchdown catch from Ricky Ray to Spencer Watt. Eskimos staying over after their win in Montreal. Practicing in Gatineau. Willie on completion. And Denmark wrestled down by Jalil Carter.
Willie may not get the win in this game tonight, but I think he has bounced back from his game against Saskatchewan where he had the 3 interceptions, how we started the show. Just to take a look at how he would bounce back from one of those bad games. And I think he has. I mean, that throw to Robbie Bryant puts him right in this game.
Here comes Dwight Anderson, and he gets home. Well, you could see that coming. Halfback blitz. Well, the Argos have their 4th sack of the night.
And the first time, I think, all season long, I've seen a little frustration outwardly from Drew Willie.
Tim Burke, the former head coach of the Bombers, has had his defense tuned up tonight.
Yeah, they just sent everybody. This was just all out, including Dwight Anderson from the secondary. Not enough to pick up.
Logan Harrell was in the neighborhood. Pass over the middle. Bryant's got it. His fumble was costly. And he gets driven by Shea Emery just as he was stepping out. No flag. Emery lowered the boom on Robbie Bryant. It looked like to me when I saw it live, we'll take another look, but when I saw it live, it looked like he was inbounds, looked like a clean hit. And a big one from Shea Emery. Now, full credit to Robbie Bryant. He took this hit to get an extra yard and needed that yard to move the chains, but it's a biggie. Yeah, he was inbounds. 14, a first down. Emery leads the Argos in tackles. Just the 9th first down of the game for the Bombers, who have 7 2-and-outs. And that Argo defense is showing improvement. That's 30 2-and-outs created by the Argos in the last 3 weeks. So Tim Burke is starting to put this new group together. Pass caught, and Denmark dragged down by Emery. Well, you see that it's 38, it's 31, it's a 10-point game when Drew Willie hit Robbie Bryant for that long touchdown that was called back on the hands to the face call on Howard, the right tackle. That makes it a 3-point game at that point, and anything can happen. Not over yet, but second and about a yard or two. Quick hitter and incomplete. Pass behind Denmark, and it will be third down.
3-down football for Willie now.
He's pulled out a couple miracles already this year. The big drives.
A ways to go right now. They're putting the end zone right now.
Third and at least a yard. I'd call it closer to a yard and a half. The safety. Pressure on. Completion. Bryant the catch. Jalil Carter hanging on, but Robbie Bryant moves the chains. 8 yards, fresh set of downs for the Bombers at the 35.
So the East comes up with one, it looks like.
Drew Willie's first start here since he was quarterback at the University of Buffalo in the International Bowl. And Dwight Anderson's got his second sack of this series. Third sack of the year for Anderson. 5th of the game for the Argos, who had just one in week 1 against the Blue Bombers. Second and 16. Willie on the move and hits the deck underneath the hit of Jermaine Gabriel, the safety. 7 for Willie. Steve Morley, the former Argo, when January also was a Argonaut offensive lineman in 2007. Pass low, incomplete. Intended for Corey Watson.
The East will win one, and yes, they catch Winnipeg on a short week, but we've already mentioned that happens to every team. Some have bounced back to win, and this game was in the balance about 3 or 4 minutes ago. And
it's a deceptive score.
It is. It is in a big way. And Ricky Ray, by the way, close to 300 yards passing, and to be his 74th. He's at 297 right now. Remember, he needed 281 to hit 50 grand in 3 games, which would be the Edmonton game August 23rd. He's lowered that average now.
He's not going to pass with 1:19 left, is he?
No, he doesn't need to get to 300. But the 297 ahead of the average, and again, I can't emphasize enough, this is a team that has lost their entire starting receiving corps. I mean, not 1 or 2 guys, but all 5 starters, including their backup in Anthony Coombs, who looks like he's gone for the year.
John Childs might be back Sunday,
and Jason Barnes is closing in as well, but
likely Labor Day for Owens and maybe Andre Dury by then. Steele, game tackle, push back. And it will be third down here in the final minute. And Bombers will get the ball one more time.
It's an incredible
Timeout.
feat to get to
Winnipeg.
50,000. Right, closing in. He's 548 away now. As we mentioned, we do the averages to look at where he would if he maintains that average, and it'll be in Edmonton, which is quite interesting. Of course, now all the defense has been listening to that. They're going, okay, let's see if we can lower that average a little bit.
Waters boots it away. And this is going to bounce out with no return for one of the best Bombers tonight, Troy Studermeyer. So the decision desk ruling with 41 seconds to go. It's a third Eastern win over a Western opponent. And the Argos have a little cushion in the East Division.
Pulling away in the East. Man, the Hamilton Tiger Cats are close. You got to think. I mean, they've lost, I think, their last 3 by about 7 points.
I think that's going to be a good game Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Faster Calgary and Hamilton. That's going to be one to tune into.
Yeah, good team going in there in Calgary.
We're told Pete Charles is going to be the latest running back there to suit up for the Stamps. Corey Watson taken down. Let's take a look at the West standings.
And Ottawa's better on paper than they're playing right now, and I think that'll improve. And there's the West, and boy, is it a race. You cannot slip at all in the West Division. This might go down as one of the best divisional races of all time.
Second consecutive loss for Winnipeg. They've got Montreal after the bye, back home. Catch by Denmark, tackled by Anderson, who's been active in this fourth quarter.
The biggest improvement to me in this Argo team, though, as the season has gone on, is Scott Milanovic got the play out of his defense. In the first 3 or 4 games, it was a young group trying to figure it out with a new coordinator, new coaching staff, and took them a few games, but they are playing solid defensively now in a big way, and Ray's getting a little more comfortable with young receivers. And think about this, Chris. When they do get Chad Owens, Andre Dury back, and Ricky Ray gets Barnes and John Childs back, all the receivers he's worked with the last 3, 4, 5 games are that much better. So they're ready to step in the second half of the season should something happen to a guy like Jason Barnes you're looking at
Offside.
right there, Chad Owens.
Toronto number 91. 5-yard penalty. First down.
There's very little upside to the injuries when you lose star players, but the only upside really is that your young players get game experience. So Scott Milanovic has got young guys like Terrell Sinkfield, who's had a kind of an up and down game. He's made some mistakes, but also some plays.
That defense has held Willie to 145 yards passing, and now in a 4-game stretch. Incomplete over the middle. They have allowed on average 160 yards passing, so wow.
Yeah,
you could say, okay, short week Winnipeg, Montreal struggling, but this is 4 weeks in a row that Argo defense has really been stingy against the pass. Dozen seconds left. 2nd and 10. Willie gonna turn it loose. Wants Denmark. And does he have it? Yes. Denmark brings it down at the 15, working against Anderson. And 3 seconds left for the Bombers to
get something positive for the trip home.
Dress up that score a little bit.
Maybe one touchdown throw. Pad the stats for Clarence Denmark. It's in a bit of a receivers race. Came into the game second. Again, uneven schedule, so teams have played different number of games. But
48-yard play. Gets Willie to 193. See if he can get it in the end zone. One more time tonight. He'll try it. Aaron Kelly, jump ball. Incomplete. And that should do it. Ball game over. And the Argos have won their second consecutive game and move to 3-4. First loss against the East. First loss on the road for Michael O'Shea's team. Ricky Ray and the Argonauts prevail, and they get set for a short week of prep for the BC Lions.